Good morning to everybody as we wait for a few more. I don't know about you, but Thursdays are nuts. It's 9 a.m. where I am, and this is my third meeting of the day already. So it's a long day. I have two more directly after this. So just 5 solid hours of meeting. It's awesome.
I started the day in intensive care rounds,
Oh no.
then came back. Uh, and since I'm the purchasing department for a library, all the books go to my house and I have to bring them in. Had some really heavy books. In fact, the American Heart Association has put out new new life support manuals, and apparently we are the only library in the world that has them. Its OCLC records are just very minimal ones from Yankee Book Peddler.
Well, the heavier they are, the more important they are. Isn't that the rule of thumb for books? Is it?
Well,
oh my word.
also got this one. That's actually, the books themselves are fairly light, like that, but we got 10 of them.
Yeah, okay.
And 4 others. It's about $750.
Sounds about right.
And once we officially begin, I have a question about OCLC.
Okay. Well, let's make it happen. We're open. We're done. We're here. Let's go. What's your question?
Okay. Has anyone reported cataloging errors to OCLC, and how long does it take to fix, if they do?
I know we've met with our OCLC rep a couple times, and usually they say it takes 30 days for their whole thing to update and work through it. I don't know if that's true or if they just gave us that to say, be patient, be quiet, but
yeah, the ISBNs don't match up with the titles or switched.
oops.
Advanced Cardiac Life Support has the ISBN for Pediatric Advanced Life Support, and the other way around.
We used to be an OCLC library. We have not been for a couple years now, but part of the reason we left was because they never fixed the errors that I submitted. So in my experience, the amount of time it takes is forever.
Okay, thanks.
I know they have a ticket system. You can, like a support system. I don't know if that's anywhere more direct or if it's a totally different department and they don't care. I don't know. Those are the only 2 ways I've ever talked to them. So
Connection has a report an error button. That's what I did. Yeah, this is the first time I've seen a complete mess up.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
What I find depressing is when the 2 other libraries in the world have a book and their records aren't that great.
Yeah, you got to be the one to make it good. Well, I do have a couple announcements. I posted the agenda in the chat. If you came in after that, I can post it again. Let me post it real quick just in case. There's not a heck of a lot on it, but there are some announcements. So I don't know how many of you were able to attend the general SIG yesterday. Honestly, I go because they're very interesting and they are very helpful. Mostly I just go so that I have something to say in this meeting. Here's some announcements that I didn't know until yesterday. So voting for next year's koha-US conference on where it will be held. We've had 2 different places that have put their name in the ballot. And Chip, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this. Fayetteville, Arkansas, and then Utah State Library are the 2 that have proposed. And the ballot for those to vote one or the other is going to be coming soon. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, we're thinking the vote is going to happen November 19th through December 5th. So
Nice.
that's not completely official, but yeah, sounds good.
Ish. I like it.
This is not an endorsement of either one, but I looked up the Fayetteville Library website. They have a kitchen with 16 stations.
Yeah, like a restaurant kitchen, only larger, maybe.
Wow. That's kind of nice.
But yeah.
Recording studio, photography studio. They're doing interesting things.
Yeah.
It's a nice facility, it sounds like.
Yeah. And Utah, the state library looks good too.
Yes.
So yeah, a nice flexible thing there is the ability to split the rooms. So and yeah. So we'll be putting it up for a vote soon.
Okay. We know that KohaCon is coming up really, really, really soon in New Zealand. You can, I don't know if you can watch it live, but they usually record everything and put it on YouTube later. There's also a lot of information just right on this site. That's the KohaCon site. And I guess they already know where 2026 is going to be next year. It's in Germany. So start begging your leadership now for the money, because that sounds like an awesome place to go. Might as well. Everybody should be on 2505 by now that was planning to, and so they are getting ready to start preparing release notes and narrowing down all the different things that are going to be released for 2511. So hopefully we'll get some more information about that over the next couple months, some Monday minutes and some other things as they gear up for the next one. It feels like as soon as we're done with one, we're ready to go for the next one. It's amazing. We had a couple email chains that kind of went through for the SIG this month. One was about batch loading order records through margaret.brown. It was something that had been done in a previous system and was doing now. I don't have enough information about that, but I hope that she got some pretty good answers. And it sounded like the acquisition SIG would be really great as well for that, because it's orders on their records and stuff too. And then another one asking for training materials. If you have internal training materials and stuff that you're okay with sharing, you're welcome to put them or send them to me, and we'll put them into the catalog SIG Google Drive folder. Sharing, cutting down on work across systems is always great. Not having to start from scratch and do your own screenshots. We started doing our training materials before we even got into Koha. We had a dev site, our own sandbox. So a lot of ours have funky colors behind them because they always made our sandbox yellow and purple and all different kinds of random colors. But we've been relying on those constantly. They've been great because sometimes it's a little bit hard to go back to the Koha one and sift through all the different things you need. If you have some standard work processes that you know everybody does or that people need to follow, that's a really great way to do it, is just have some internal training materials you can pass on to the next people that come. It's good. That's pretty much all I really had as far as agenda things to kind of cover. We're really open to questions, bugs, anything else that you've got that you want to talk about.
Well, I think putting training materials on the Google Drive is a wonderful idea because we have a new library tech, and eventually she's probably going to take over copy cataloging.
See, and all we have are really the cataloging training because we don't circulate. And so I don't have any training materials that would help unite those as far as cataloging and circulation, or cataloging and acquisitions. Even we have a whole separate set of acquisitions that I don't even have access to. But anything that kind of combines them all together, I think that's awesome. I think sharing is a great idea. So
yeah, I'm just trying to make Mark Fields a little less intimidating.
Yeah. Understand what we're looking at.
Yeah, adding items would be easy.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
I have a question, and you'll have to excuse me because I'm not a cataloger. But I just overheard the person that we have in-house that catalogs. I think she prints our labels, like our spine labels from Microsoft Publisher, and someone said that's going away in 2026, so in about a year. Can I ask how other people are printing their spine labels?
I'm doing ours from using Koha.
Yeah, Koha does have spine label. They have templates and stuff. We actually had to get ours custom made to match our old call numbers from, the last 40 years or whatever. We work with Bywater. I don't know if you guys are with Bywater, but you can totally create your own HTML and set up, and we just use sheets of however many 80 or whatever of the little tiny call number things. We create the batch and we run it through the printer and they're good to go. So there's quite a few different options through Koha as far as even just specializing and getting your own font, your own layout, your own size, all that kind of stuff.
Thank you.
And a lot of other people have really great. Yeah, hey, a brother label printer. I use one of those too. Yeah, we're actually looking at moving over from barcodes because we've been using Microsoft Access for barcodes for I don't even know how many decades. And nobody is supporting Access anymore at our place. I'm the only one that actually has an Access account. And we need to get off of that. We really desperately need to, because every time they upgrade our security at our library, it kills it. We have to resurrect it every single time. So yeah, we're looking at the same thing for barcode labels, is going through Koha and changing over.
Speaking of barcode or spine labels, I've got a question, but I need to write down an example first. Yeah, see if you can read that. So the barcode, the spine label just has a tendency to put one letter or two letters on the line and then skip in the middle of something. Is there a way to get around that?
When we had Bywater do some customizations. We basically said, we don't want you to line break when you see these specific abbreviations or these specific things. So we actually told it, even because it likes periods. Periods to them means go down to the next line. It also, there's a couple other things that mean go down to the next line. And so we said, don't do any of that. If you see PG for page or PT for part or V for volume or whatever, do not put a line break in it. We had to specifically tell it what not to do in order to make it work. And even then we still have to do it, a few manual tweaks every now and then. But
We'll go back to the setup and see if it makes sense more now, since I've learned a bit more. And if anyone wants my settings for the 1 by 1.5 labels, I'll be glad to send them. And I'm sure everyone knows this, but if you're printing sheets of labels in a printer that a lot of other people are using, if you set it to manual feed tray 1, no one, well, it'll be harder for other people to print, use your label sheet to print.
I usually just end up printing on the back side of the label page and then I have to turn it over and print again. We have sticky notes all over our printer. Put the bottom here, put it this way, face up, do this, turn around, touch your nose. I mean, just everything to make it work, right? Just have you guys seen anything that came from the update? I know we kind of talked about this a little bit last time, came from the last update, anything that's been released in the last couple mini releases that have helped some things. I know that we had some issues with the lists that you could only sort them by publication date, and that was rough. So they fixed that one with this last mini update. They're going to be fixing the item size of the boxes that were all uneven. Those are going to be coming in the next one. I never knew that was a thing, but it triggered like half my team. They were like, it's all different sizes. What do we do? I'm like, you put the stuff in the boxes regardless of what size it is. It's just a box, but they're going to be all the same size again. So it's okay. Everybody's okay. I don't know. There's been a few other just little updates that have been really helpful. So let's see.
I didn't realize that this was in the update. We just moved to 2505 last week. So we were very long holdouts. So we just went last week, and I don't know if anybody uses item groups, but my coworker was like, hey, did you realize that now if you merge two records that have item groups, all the item groups get retained? Yeah. And that was at koha-US. That was, I learned how to sign off on a bug with that specific thing. So but I didn't realize that it was already in a release. So that was really exciting. And merging records with item groups used to delete the item groups from the bib record that was getting deleted. And there was no indication because item groups don't have any logging.
Right.
There was like, oh, we just lose so much of what an item was, but now we don't have to, and it's excellent.
That's awesome. I always love when bugs get passed off and then they backport them. That's like my favorite word in Bugzilla, backport. Yes.
I don't remember if it was this upgrade or the last upgrade, but now that you can add items using a mark modification template,
Mhm. That's what,
we are using that for, we have libraries now that are using Amazon Library for ordering. They used to be Baker and Taylor, and they're having trouble getting set up with Ingram, so they're resorting to using Amazon reluctantly. But Amazon gives brief mark records, but they don't have any item fields in it. So if you try to load vendor loads, they have no items. So we came up with a workaround to load the records using a mark modification template that adds an item. So it's just a placeholder item.
nice.
We didn't like recreate the entire grid structure for everybody. They just get, you know, an item that has their home branch and an item type.
Mhm.
But that has been great for a lot of our libraries.
Yeah, that does seem good. We've been having to import records from a lot of foreign libraries. We're going through a big kind of Eastern Europe and Arabic growth in our library collection. And some of the stuff that gets imported is weird. It's, you know, just kind of out of control. And so we've basically been applying a lot of that stuff to, you know what, we actually don't want this, and cleaning them out as we come in. And I don't think we've tried doing an item record though yet. That would actually be really nice, because then you don't have to do that extra step. I have to tell our acquisitions person that now.
Is BT Cat staying around or is it dead?
It's here until the end of the year. Well,
Oh,
I shouldn't say that. As far as we know, it's here until Baker and Taylor shuts down, which is at the end of the year.
yeah, okay.
But we are operating as if it could disappear at any moment. So we're trying to make sure we're using it as much as we can and extracting records as soon as possible. They said that they would give us advance notice before it's fully shutting down, but I can't really trust anything coming out of Baker and Taylor at the
And
moment.
yeah, and I heard it was not going to be available December 12th and after. So from a pretty reliable source.
All
So
right,
it's so
so there you
unfortunate.
go.
It's a lot of catalogers' work is just going to go poof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sad situation.
yeah, I'm keep looking for ways that unsupported libraries who aren't on OCLC can get cataloging records.
Mhm.
We are
I had
looking
such
into
hopes.
bookware. Bookware is much more affordable than OCLC. So we're looking at getting licenses for that to try to avoid going to OCLC as long as possible because it is just so expensive.
Yeah, Baker and Taylor, I think, sent me an email yesterday regarding the December 12th date. But I wanted to ask, I assume it's the same. Does anyone use Content Cafe? Because we do, and I wrote them, and I imagine that's going to be discontinued because we paid through spring. Does anyone have any information?
Mm. I would think if the source goes down, it all goes down. I don't know.
That's what I read. I was just hoping, I know that we've received emails from like Syndetics and somebody else, Chili something. Anyway, does anyone else use anything that's similar to Content Cafe that they would recommend or? Okay, I'll do some digging. Thank you.
We justify our OCLC subscription, and we do get 10 books a month. That's big, but preserves my sanity. And this way I don't have to go searching for in so many different libraries, especially since Z3950 uses ports that I can't get to from here.
In the chat, Barbara said that Grove for Libraries works with Ingram for some of the cover images and review service. So that might be a helpful one too. Oh, still coming. Okay, it's working on it. Yeah, that's the thing, is when we lose one of these big ones that had all these different services, at least some other places usually step up and are like, oh, well, we could do something too. So hopefully we'll get some of those gaps filled.
You know if there are any plans to preserve the BTCat database at all? Maybe bundle up and put an internet archive? It's a
don't
lot of
think
work. I hate to
so.
see it go to waste.
I think a factor in that is the OCLC lawsuit. So I think if somebody did that, OCLC would go after them, I think. Yeah, unfortunately.
I know we try to keep these things positive, but does anybody have anything that they don't like about what happened in the update? I only say that because I have one and I'm not sure how to fix it yet. So I don't know if there's anything that you want to see changed or want to see fixed or moved forward.
What is it that you don't like?
I mentioned it yesterday a little bit in the general meeting, but basically, so bug 39545 was all about generating better information in a periodical child record when you create a new one. And it's nice to have the title and the publication and all that stuff in there, but when they put in the subfield W with the parent bib number, it's not just the 001, they're also including the 003, which is the source. And that's usually an alpha code of some sort, for us at least. And it makes the OAI readability that goes out to our OPAC, it breaks it, it kills it, because it's only looking for a number. It doesn't want letters and symbols in there. And so ever since then, every time we create a new serial record, none of them are going out to the OPAC. So we just want to be able to turn it off or say stop with the 003, because it doesn't seem like the 003 was intentional. As far as everybody I've talked to, they're like, no, you're right, this wasn't supposed to be there, it's not supposed to be generating that. So I don't know, I think I have to create a whole new bug and just be like, by the way, this bug broke something, please fix it and get it back to there. If I could figure out a way to, throw in some jQuery or something and fix it in the meantime, I would do that, but I'm not that smart. So we'll see.
There was something that was fixed, but
Mhm.
we were used to the way it worked when it was broken.
Mhm.
And so it is, I guess, when you save an item record in the grid at the top, the record you just saved gets highlighted.
Yeah.
And I guess that was, for other places, a confusing behavior because it looked like you were still editing that, but you were actually creating a new one.
Okay.
Where our libraries, use the highlighted one to say, oh, that's the one I just did. So they can save it and then go print the spine label. And so then that got fixed so that only the current record you're editing is highlighted.
While you're editing.
But once you save it, it gets unhighlighted. So that was like, okay, this was fixed, but we actually liked the way it worked before. So I think that we had somebody did something like, I don't know if it's jQuery or a patch applied to just our koha, but it's working as it used to now for us.
Nice.
But that is a customized thing that probably will break the next time we upgrade.
Right.
So it's funny.
I actually have a document. I went into the system preferences and I found all the different jQuery and CSS, and I looked in the HTMLs and all that stuff, and I copied and pasted it into a document so that the next time we upgrade, I can just copy and paste it back in there so that all of our little extras and things that have been applied and patches, whatever, all come back. So I don't have to ask somebody,
Very smart.
can we create this again?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know I never will. But yeah, no, everything that's customized, I keep somewhere else so I can just put it right back again because we have a ton of stuff too. And I always think whenever we have these fixes and these upgrades, I'm always like, can we make that a system preference we can turn off? Like everything they do, I want it to be a system preference we can turn off, which is probably not good, but boy, it sounds nice.
I've got a lot of customized things for author's catalog, which is one of the reasons we're still on 2411 now that it's LTS.
I have a question that's not about the upgrade.
Mhm.
Does anybody use the card preview in Z3950? And so if you're doing a Z3950 search, you can choose either mark preview or card preview before you actually import the record. And we're wondering, part of our post BTCat plan is to use a lot of Z3950 targets to get records in Koha. And we want to use the card to make it super easy for our libraries to identify which record actually matches what's in their hand. Because a lot of people are just attaching. They're not actual, they don't actually have cataloging experience. They don't really understand mark fields. They don't, like, they can't look at a record and understand what data matches with the item in hand. And we don't want them to have to do that if that's not part of their actual job. They just see that the item matches the title, and that should be good enough. But the card preview is kind of clunky looking. It pulls in fields that we don't want. It doesn't pull in fields we do want. And so I'm wondering if anybody uses that card preview and knows if it is customizable. I was searching in system preferences and, doing some manual searching in the manual, and I couldn't find it. But before opening a ticket, figured I'd ask here.
Margaret said she does. Do you have any help there?
We use it as a guideline. Do I want this record or do I want a different record, or does this one have subject headings or does that one have page numbers? And I can tell that. And if I need something more specific, then I'll switch over to the mark preview.
Yeah.
And that'll tell me if it has a call number, if it has all that sort of thing. But it's the only thing that we've done for Z39.50, and we don't belong to OCLC, so that's all we have.
Yeah.
We were thrilled when they added the extra fields so you can see whether the record has the 3XX fields or not, or what the format of it is. And we had to go in and add those after they said that was possible. And that's a huge help, because then you can immediately see whether it's the DVD or whether it's the sound recording or whatever it is, that ordinarily you wouldn't see from that. So that's
Yep.
that's a big help. But then, yeah, the card preview, the fuller and more complete it is, I mean, I can tell that by looking at it and then decide if I want that record or some other record.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's the workflow we're moving towards here. Looking at the card preview, and then if there's still something you're missing, then go to the mark. And we tried adding a lot to those additional fields, but it really takes up a lot of space on the screen. So it's easier to have just a couple in those additional fields, but then for somebody who wants to look at the full record, just go to the mark display.
Yeah.
You can find what template controls the card view. You could probably modify that. First thing, you'd have to put it somewhere and then put it back every time you upgrade.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. I'll look into that.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Anybody doing anything awesome for Thanksgiving or Christmas? Me, I'm going to be working. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm actually going to be working out of the desk because we need coverage out there, and I don't usually do that. So I have to remember how to talk to people nicely and care that they're in my library during the holidays. Why? Go away. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you need to practice your customer service smile.
I know. Thanks, Dina.
Yeah, when you have dogs and no dog sitter, options for time off are kind of limited.
I just figure it's my turn. We don't really keep track, but I haven't been around for the last couple of holidays, so I'm sure you should be nice about it or something. I don't know. Well, if everybody feels like we have all the answers to the universe, I suppose we could probably end early, give you guys a good 15 minutes or so back. And we'll do this again in December when everything is falling apart again. Save the world once again. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I will really try sending out the email more than 15 minutes ahead of time next time. I really I need to put it on my calendar and just have it a big alert that says, Angela, do your job. And maybe I'll actually get it done. But I will see you guys later. Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks, Angela. Bye, everyone.